The house brand aisle at Rural King Tractor Supply and Harbor Freight isn't 3 stores competing to sell you honest equipment. It's 3 catalogs of other people's factories wearing a store's name on the paint. And here's the payoff right up front, because you shouldn't have to wait 8 minutes for it. RK tractors are TYM out of South Korea with Yanmar engines. Huskee mowers are MTD. But Huskee log splitters are not MTD, they're SpeeCo, which is a completely different company. CountyLine isn't one manufacturer at all, it never was. And Predator engines are Honda pattern clones built by 3 different Chinese factories, and on a log splitter, they're one of the honest bargains left in American retail. By the end of this, you'll have the buy list and the skip list for all 3 stores, and you'll know which line in the warranty is the one that bites. Now, the reason you click this is you don't want to be the fella standing at a parts counter finding out nobody stocks it. That's not a bad afternoon. That's a machine sitting dead in your barn for 6 weeks. The Compact Tractor Buyer's Vault is $30 one time at ironandacreage.com. First link in the description. Who builds what maps, the dealer scripts word for word, the 50-point inspection you print and carry to the lot. Buy it before you buy the machine, not after you're stuck. That's the whole ad. I won't bring it up again. Here's how the map actually works. At every one of these 3 stores, there's a category where you're buying somebody else's good factory at a discount, and a category where you're buying a badge with nobody standing behind it. The trick isn't the store. It's knowing which side of that line the thing in your cart is sitting on. Predator engines, good side. Tractor Supply fluid depends entirely on which jug you grab. Let's prove all of it. Start with Rural King, because it's the biggest machine in the building. RK Tractors says it flat out on their own website. No digging required. Their tractors are made by TYM, the largest tractor manufacturer in South Korea. Engines for the RK19 through the RK55 are Yanmar. The RK74 uses a Deutz. Final assembly happens in Waverly, Ohio and Williston, Florida. So this isn't a rumor. This is the company telling you who built it. And once you know that, the model chart opens up. The RK55 is a TYM T554. The RK37 is a T394. The RK24 rides on the same platform as a TYM T254, which is also the same platform under a Mahindra eMax 25. Same Korean iron, 3 different colors of paint, 3 different price tags. The 3-point implements Rural King sells alongside them aren't mystery steel either. Those are built by King Kutter down in Winfield, Alabama. Here's the part everybody gets wrong. And I want to correct it on air because I've said versions of it myself. People will tell you RK tractors are the same as a Branson. That's not right. TYM did buy Huskee Machinery, which is Branson's parent company, in a deal Korean business press valued at about $52.4 million. And TYM's own site says the Branson name was fully folded into TYM on July 1st, 2022. But same corporate parent is not the same parts bin. TYM says it plainly. Branson parts fit Branson tractors. TYM parts fit TYM tractors. Don't walk into a dealer with a Branson number and expect it to drop into an RK. What does work, and this is the leverage, is the TYM number. One owner on Tractor Buynet wrote that his local Mahindra dealer helped him find parts for his RK55 in the TYM database, and that they knew exactly where the overlaps were between TYM, Mahindra, and the RK badged units. Rural King does service these in their own stores, and that's real, but knowing the TYM number underneath means you're never trapped waiting on one shipment. Now Tractor Supply, and this one has the biggest myth pile on it. People argue about CountyLine like it's one factory in Kentucky. It isn't, and I don't have to guess, because Tractor Supply says so in a document they file with the SEC. Their 10K describes the exclusive brands as manufactured for us by a number of vendors. Plural, and those exclusive brands aren't a side hustle either. In fiscal 2020, they were about 29% of total sales, and 31% the 2 years before that. So, CountyLine rotates. King Kutter built the CountyLine implements first. Tarter, out of Kentucky, took the program over later. The CountyLine log splitters aren't either one of those. They came from an importer called YTL International. And we know that for certain because of a recall we'll get to shortly. Same badge, 3 different factories depending on the year and the product. That's not a scandal, that's just how private label works. But it means the review you read in 2018 might be describing a machine that doesn't exist anymore. Huskee is the same trap with a nastier twist. Huskee riding mowers are MTD, and that lineage is real. MTD also built the Sears machines, which is where the everybody knows Huskee is a rebadged craftsman line comes from. Stanley Black & Decker bought the rest of MTD in December of 2021 for $1.6 billion. But Huskee log splitters are a different animal entirely. Those are SpeeCo. Blount International bought SpeeCo out of Golden, Colorado for about $90 million in cash back in 2010, and Blount renamed itself Oregon Tool in June of 2021. Cast iron pumps, Honda and Kohler engine options. So when somebody tells you Huskee splitters are rebadged craftsman junk, they've got the wrong product line entirely. While we're in that aisle, let's settle the 303 fluid argument, because it's the loudest one on every tractor forum and both sides are a little wrong. 303 was a John Deere specification for machines built roughly 1960 through 1974. It got discontinued in 74. There is no current 303 specification. None. Which means an oil blender can put nearly anything in a jug and print those numbers on it. And they do. The Petroleum Quality Institute of America tested a batch of them and found 91% failed to meet viscosity requirements for the current J20C specification, or even J20A, which itself has been obsolete since 1989. But here's the correction, and it cuts against the panic. Cheap 303 will not instantly destroy your hydrostatic transmission. That claim gets repeated constantly and it's overstated. What it does is wear you slowly and gamble on your seals, which is worse in a way because you won't see it coming. And the fix costs about $15. Tractor Supply sells both jugs. The yellow bucket 303 runs around $19 for 5 gallons. The Traveler Premium that actually carries the J20C claim is about $34. If your machine was built after 1974 and has a hydrostat or wet brakes, buy the $34 bucket. Look for J20C, Kubota UDT, or Massey M1145 on the label. If none of those are printed on it, it's a jug of unknown. And if you think a badge on a fluid jug is confusing, the badge game on chainsaws is worse. I've got a whole video on the chainsaw brands that are secretly the same saw sitting on the channel. Harbor Freight Now, and the Predator engine, which is the most misunderstood product in this entire video. Predator isn't a factory. It's a purchase order. The 212 non-Hemi is Chongqing Rato. The 212 Hemi is Loncin. The Ghost Racing 212 is Ducar. The 420 has come from both Rato and Loncin, depending on the year. You can watch this in the California Air Resources Board paperwork. Rato's executive orders all start with UU169. Loncin start with UU145. Different families, different factories, same orange paint, which kills the second myth. Predator engines are not exact Honda copies. They're legal clones of the Honda GX pattern, and legal is the important word there, because Honda's patents on those utility engines expired. Harbor Freight builds them on a Q-type straight shaft with SAE threads, which is why a clutch or a pulley off a Honda. A Briggs or a Kohler bolts right on. The footprint copies. The metallurgy doesn't. Honda's got a forged crank and tighter quality control. The clone doesn't, and it costs a third as much, and you should decide with that on the table instead of pretending they're identical. Now the big one. Predator connecting rods always fail. You've heard it. It's false, and I can tell you exactly where it came from. The stock cast rod holds together to somewhere around 5,500 RPM, and the stock valve springs start floating in the low to mid 5,000s, which caps the thing anyway. A governed engine on a log splitter never sees past about 3,600. Every blown rod story you've read is a go-kart or a mini bike where somebody pulled the governor. One builder described his rod coming out through the crankcase right after he messed with it. That's not a defect. That's a modification. Leave the governor alone, and these things just run. Here's the receipt. From a splitter owner. I installed a Predator 212 on my log splitter 3 years ago, and it's been working great. It starts on one pull in summer. At about $100, it's been a great replacement engine. And parts are everywhere. Harbor Freight sells them direct, plus a deep aftermarket on top of that. Carburetors run $17. Coils, recoils, gaskets, pistons, rods, all of it. So repowering is the single best money move in this whole video. When the engine on a Huskee or a CountyLine splitter finally dies, and it will, you do not buy the original engine. You buy a Predator with the matching Q-type shaft, bolt it to the same pump, and you're back in the woodpile for a couple $100 instead of $6 or $7. Now the receipts nobody wants to read, and this is where I stop being nice to any of them. Lifting, rigging, towing, this is the category where a cheap badge can actually hurt you. In 2020, Harbor Freight recalled 1,708,000 Pittsburgh Jack stands across 3 separate campaigns. NHTSA number 20E016 covered 454,000 6-ton stands. Item 601197, because the ratchet teeth might not fully engage the pawl. 20E027 covered 1,254,000 3-ton stands. 20E046 covered 118,000 pairs where the base seam weld could fail. But here's the honest correction on that too, because that number gets swung around like a club. About 5% of each type was potentially defective, not all of them, and the defect traced to aging production tooling that the factory itself identified. So the answer isn't never buy a jack stand at Harbor Freight. The answer is read your item number against the recall list, and never work under a machine held up by a stand alone. And Tractor Supply is not clean here either. The CountyLine 40-ton splitter got recalled in November of 2018. CPSC number 19-715, model YTL016-93, about 1,460 units, tongue box weld cracking. Oregon Tool recalled around 29,560 splitters in April of 2024 for the cylinder rod separating from the piston. And in July of 2025, roughly 18,000 Traveler aluminum loading ramps got pulled after 35 reports of ramps bending or breaking, including 2 people hurt. So the rule for rigging is the same at all 3 stores. If a chain, a strap, a hook, a ball mount, or a ramp doesn't have a working load limit stamped into the metal, you put it back on the shelf. Not because it's cheap, because there's no number on it. Warranty fine print, and this is where the real money hides. Harbor Freight is 90 days on nearly everything. Bauer, Daytona Jacks, whole Predator machines, 90 days. Lifetime applies to hand tools only. Pittsburgh and Icon. Predator engines carry that 90-day machine warranty, plus a 2-year emissions control warranty the EPA requires them to give you. And read the extended service plan carefully, because their own terms say the plan provides no benefits during the manufacturer's shortest warranty period. It starts after, which makes it pointless on a hand tool that's already covered forever, and genuinely smart on a generator or an air compressor, where a failure in month 13 costs you real money. Rural King has by far the best paper. 2 years full machine, plus 8 years or 3,000 hours on the powertrain for the 19 through 55 horsepower units. No deductible, parts and labor. That's class leading and it's not marketing fluff. But go read the actual handout, because the powertrain coverage specifically excludes the HST assembly. The HST pump, the damper plate, the damper assembly, all carved out. So the 8-year warranty covers everything except the most expensive thing likely to fail on a hydrostatic tractor, and the non-institutional use language excludes demolition, paving, bulldozing, mining, quarry work, commercial construction, gravel yards, and commercial forestry. If you're running a gravel yard, that 8 years is not your 8 years. Tractor Supply is the loosest of the 3, because there's no single warranty. It passes through to whoever actually built it. Oregon Tool for the splitter, Kohler or Briggs for the engine, YTL for the import. Those are real companies, so that's not automatically bad. But the store isn't the one fixing it, and you need to know whose phone number is on the paperwork before you load it in the truck. One more thing, and this is federal law working in your favor. Under the Magnuson-Moss Warranty Act, nobody can void your warranty just because you ran an aftermarket filter or an aftermarket oil. The FTC sent warning letters to 6 companies in April of 2018 over exactly that language. They have to prove the aftermarket part caused the failure. Say those words at the counter if anybody tries it on you. So here's the verdict. At Rural King, buy the tractor. RK is genuine TYM iron with a Yanmar engine and the longest powertrain paper in the class. Just go in knowing the HST is carved out and knowing the TYM number underneath. Buy the King Kutter implements. At Tractor Supply, buy the fluids that carry a real specification. The filters, the grease, the DEF, the trailer parts, the fencing, and the SpeeCo built splitters. Skip the yellow bucket in anything modern, and skip CountyLine implements if you're working them commercially, because that steel is lighter. A 5-foot CountyLine box blade runs about 415 pounds against roughly 465 for the green equivalent. At Harbor Freight, buy Predator engines as replacement power, buy the trailer hardware, buy the hand tools with the lifetime policy. Skip anything you plan to run hard past day 90 without the service plan, and skip any rigging without a stamped rating. And the honest counterweight, because being fair to cheap stuff is the whole point of this one. The house brand rider with the sealed transaxle that I keep telling people to skip? If you've got a half-acre lawn and you plan to run it 8 years and let it die, it's fine. It genuinely is. The problem isn't the machine, it's people buying it for 5 acres and a slope and then being shocked. Match the tool to the ground and half the bad reputation in these 3 stores disappears. More buyer's guides like this one every week, and the deep dive on who really builds every log splitter on the market is already in production. Subscribe so it finds you when it drops. If this one saved you money, the video on the 0% financing trap at every tractor dealer will save you a whole lot more, and it's on screen right now. That one's about the paperwork they hand you after you've already fallen in love with the machine. Go watch it. See you in that one.